Hello, everybody. Give it just one more minute. Divya, thanks for your email.
Oh, yes, of course, Deb. Hi, everyone. Hi, DJ. Hi, Ari.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, it's 5:12. I might move this meeting actually to start at 5 past the hour, and then we can not have to wait all the way to 5:12 or 5:15. All right, so we do have an agenda. So let's start with opens. Does anybody have any opens? We haven't met in quite a while. Going twice.
Yeah, Deb, since I've been gone, I know we briefly touched in our one-on-one about plans for OCP, and so maybe if you could just summarize sort of the plans for this working group for OCP, that would be great.
So, all right, right. So I
yeah,
was going to touch.
We can take other opens before if you want to.
I was going to touch on it in the recap here. Anything else?
I was going to mention OCP as well.
Excuse me?
Well, I was going to mention OCP as an open as well.
All right. Do you have anything in specific, Ari?
Not really. Just understanding. I know there was some churn. Is the schedule still the same? I've seen the speaker lineup.
Oh, you want to talk about the summit?
Yeah, the summit. Yeah.
Okay. So I have to be honest. Since I am not able to go, I've not been spending a bunch of time trying to follow what's going on. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say. But, the final outcome, which I think we've talked about before, is that we didn't have anybody to present our paper. So we removed our submission. But, the paper still exists. We talked about it at the workshop. Because Scott was able to attend and present it there, and we're continuing to go forward. We just didn't have anybody to present this work at the summit, and otherwise I've not paid any attention. You're talking, right, Ari?
Yeah, I'm talking. So Shruti, who I don't see on. We can both mention the white paper in our talks. That's one thing we always do. Mine does touch on not the same focus of carbon accounting. But mine does focus on the carbon, basically the carbon accounting for for storage. So I can certainly mention the paper and just talk about how the paper, the focus is more focused on compute and smaller section on storage and it doesn't hurt to plug the paper. So I think Shruti could probably do the same in one or more of her talks. I think she's talking more than once.
I think she is. That would be great. I would much appreciate. Keep us, whatever.
Yeah, if you could send me, you just send me like what you'd like me to say or what the slide should look like. I can make sure I plug it in there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
So if we don't have any clear agenda or we don't have a quorum, I would suggest we should, close the call I have another call, internal call, which is going on, and I jumped onto this call. Thinking that
Ah,
there's something
so,
concrete we are
for,
discussing. I would like to join the other call if that's not the case.
no, I totally understand. It's been a long time since we had more than 4 or 5 people in the meeting. Um, so I'm not sure that we need to cancel the call, but DJ, you should feel free.
So let me do this. If you don't have any, if you have any meeting notes, Deb, please share it with me. And if there are any action items for me, flag it, and I'll definitely follow up with you. Okay?
Okay, much appreciated. Do you subscribe
Yes, I
to
do
our new
subscribe
channel?
to the sustainability
Okay,
group. Yeah.
yeah, and I put where we keep the minutes, I put the link in the chat.
Perfect. I'm going to bookmark it. Okay.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you. Bye.
Bye. So we can have the discussion, Divya and Ari, do we want to have a meeting, keep plugging along? Last time it was just Divya and myself, and we canceled it. Really up to the two of
Yeah.
you.
One of the things I wanted to understand, since I've been gone for a while,
Mhm.
not looked at the embodied carbon, paper or just the debates as much, is that did you- did you get any? Did we get any feedback from I forget the name of the gentleman who had and who was along with the Meta folks who had written the paper on the embodied carbon stuff. Did we get any feedback
No,
from them?
we didn't ask for any specific feedback from them.
Okay.
And I personally, I wouldn't pursue it. If they find us and want to make comments, of course, we're
Mm-hmm.
open to anybody adding their comments.
Right.
But
Right.
I personally, I'm not really interested in the debate. Is it important or not?
No, not in the debate as such, Deb, but more because they have looked at the embodied carbon um in detail, in how sort of or at least they make the case for embodied carbon in a way in their paper, and their paper keeps getting cited, right? So I think what's lacking in that paper is the challenges around embodied carbon, and that's what this white this the work that this working group has done has put forward, right? So so I'm kind of thinking about how do we um you know uh, yeah connect it back to the
So
work
okay,
that's already there.
so if you could give a pointer to the paper.
Yeah, I can give a pointer to the paper. Yes.
Yeah, there is an interesting challenge, and someone brought both internally and someone externally brought this up with me around the heavy rise of compute related to AI. And
Yes.
Mhm.
and
Yes.
and and we often when I talk to the data sphere, we see a CAGR of 20 some percent
Yeah.
over time, but we're maintaining or even decreasing our carbon footprint through capacity gains. That's not true on the compute side. So, looking at the challenge, if you want eyes on the paper, always talk, AI is one of those hot topics. I think I brought this up once before. But that's one way of approaching the challenge and getting more interest in the group is,
Mm.
boy, I
Mm.
mean, there were dire predictions around data center total power consumption prior to the
Yes.
AI revolution. And now that
Yeah.
could accelerate. And I don't know if we have good data from IDC or other sources to like we do for the data sphere, but that would be a very interesting angle, and I think interesting to most of us who attend this call.
Right. So power
Mm.
again is out of the scope of this meeting.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry. Power is that came up, but I'm wondering about the embedded carbon impacts as
Yeah,
well.
it's going to be both, right? It's going to be growth in
Yeah,
both the power and more compute, more embodied, more operational,
yeah.
right?
I
So
think they scale together.
they
Yeah.
scale together in some ways, in some ratio. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, this could give, um, um, oh, I already said that, get purchase in this group. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Certainly the general way that we are, talking about ICs in packages covers, all the latest NVIDIA chips as well as, your more generic old-fashioned IC, right? We have mechanisms for including high bandwidth memory in the package, that would all fall under the enumeration of the dies in the package, etc. So I think I certainly had those chip architectures in mind when I outlined the mechanism. So we are certainly well prepared to handle it. Um, we wanted to, kind of skipping around on the agenda, we had talked about, doing some test cases before, and I thought we would start kind of simpler. But if, we certainly could add, if somebody wants to do some kind of a GPU or AI processor, again, we probably have better luck if we do a few generations behind. People, might be more inclined to share data. But I don't know anybody at NVIDIA who would be willing to talk to us about their embodied carbon at this point.
Yeah, I think we'd have to go to someone like IDC to see what they're projecting.
Oh, for the
No, but
projections,
for the
we can
projections,
we can
yeah.
certainly get projections of
Yeah.
the growth. That's
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm not.
pretty all over the place.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's more of a problem statement as to why it's important. Why
yeah,
there needs to be a focus. It's to draw eyes in. We work with projections on the storage side, and so I'm drawing that analogy. We
yeah,
look at the data sphere forecast, and that's the best. We may have qualms with it internally here and there, and we don't share all our data, of course, and we don't expect others to, um, but you can extrapolate the impact and the importance of the work we're doing.
yeah, yeah. So 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 specifically, the ARs might be Divya. Do you want to research? See if I was in some other OCP meeting. I can't remember who it was, but the growth in data centers that this individual was predicting was unbelievable. Um, I believe it was in high double-digit percentages. Um, so, if we could get, you know, some link to some reputable source that's not behind a paywall, but just says, we predict data center growth of this amount over the next 5 years or whatever, driven, if it says driven by AI, even better, right?
Yeah, I can ask our people because we have
Yeah, I can also
back,
I can also look into IDC kind of reports.
yeah.
I do have I can get access to some of those.
Well, the thing is, we don't want it behind a paywall, right? We want to be able
Absolutely,
to.
absolutely. If they are available freely, yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but these IDC graphs and stuff, they show up in so many presentations.
Yeah,
yes.
That they're used liberally from basically every conference I go to.
Yes. So
Flash
you're
Memory
saying
Summit, OCP Global Summit, etc. Yeah.
I think it's mainly like they are used with source stated, and that's sort of considered like, okay, if the source is stated, you can quote whatever the graph says.
Yes, right. Welcome, Shruti. Nice
Hey,
to
so
hear
sorry,
your
I'm
voice.
extremely late.
No
Well-
no problems at all.
Is it for a particular addition to our paper that we are looking for data center growth prediction?
Ari, do you want to repeat what you said?
Yeah. I think I was drawing a parallel to the IDC reports we use on the Datasphere growth over time and how we're trying to combat carbon emissions, even as data grows at a CAGR of over 20% a year. And we always use IDC data, and we update it every year when we give those talks.
Uh-huh.
On the compute side now, part of my argument was that AI is really driving a lot of the well, I was thinking of power because that's come up internally, but also the embedded carbon growth on the silicon side. I've even heard of data centers where they can't fill up the data center because of their power envelope.
Yeah.
But it just shows you what's happening on the silicon side, and AI is something that can draw eyes and attention to this group. And also, you're creating a problem statement that shows that AI will drive a challenge as far as embodied carbon moving forward. We're seeing, unfortunately for my company, we're seeing a lot of the growth and investment from our customers right now on the compute side. They have a lot of storage already, and they're trying to catch up on the AI side, and that will turn at some point, but it is really the hot topic of the day. So we were talking about the cadence of this meeting, getting more attendance, and I was thinking, at least from and from people coming to me also asking about these things, that's one thing we can draw into.
So so you were thinking that maybe for the paper itself, we kind of, give some high level perspective as a team on this growth in both embodied and operational. Operational carbon we can keep aside, but at least for this paper, just talk about the embodied carbon increase.
Yeah, I think something really short to open the problem statement. Why this is critical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be surprise to anyone, another Jevons paradox, right? But
so we do want to introduce it like in this paper, right? That's what I got.
Yeah, I'll put up kind of up high in the paper, the discussion of just the explosion of data, the explosion of compute, largely driven by AI, and that, embodied carbon comes along with all, we'll hopefully have a couple of stats of, expected growth of data centers in the next 5 years or what have you. And then, along with all of this, there is an associated increase in embodied carbon.
And if you want to balance that, it's also true that AI and machine learning bring a lot of advantages. Smart cities, autonomous vehicles.
For sure, but
automation
again,
of factories. Yeah,
I think that's out of our scope.
It is. It is. I keep going out of scope, but yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about this. There's the footprint of compute. There's the handprint of compute, and it can be very controversial, that whole discussion. So I would prefer to stay away from the controversy on the handprint. So Shruti, since you're here, Ari volunteered, and we were hoping that you likewise could plug this working group and our white paper in your talk at the OCP Summit.
Yeah, I'll certainly give it a shout out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Yes. And yeah, I should have actually thought earlier. I could have, drawn attention towards it at Storage Developers Conference also. But
But
anyway,
it's too late now.
now it's done.
Exactly. All righty.
One quick link that I posted. It is a paid link, but they have some section of I guess summary that is open, which talks about market growth for data centers. I don't know if
Okay.
we were
Good
saying that we
start.
want it to be paid. This particular information is kept in the open, although the full paper is paid.
So this is in billions of dollars. I guess that's fine.
Yeah, so we could refer to some.
Because dollars translates to square feet, right? Which translates to
Just an option. And continue
Yep.
what other open areas we have where some such growth information is put.
All right. Excellent. Great discussion. All right. So any other opens? Let's move on to operational updates. I think everybody here is subscribed, so that's good. If you could get the word around to other people who are interested to subscribe, that would be good. And if you ever want to send an email to the group, this is the way to do it, right? And so this is different than the group and the email list we had when Scott was here. It's part of turning over. I was told that one was not good, so we have a new one. All right, so I still have the AR to get this meeting on the larger OCP calendar, and when I do that, I'll also announce it to the larger. I did send an email asking for this, and I don't think the person understood.
Asking for what?
So under our group, we have our own calendar, and our meeting is on that calendar. But if you look at the more global OCP sustainability, there's a calendar here.
Yes.
That has the, broader group one on Wednesday the 13th. So that's like the group that umbrellas, and we're under that umbrella. And then also the metrics one is on here. So it just would give a little bit more visibility. I did manage to figure out how to get our work stream here. And then also on the sustainability wiki, I figured out how to get us all set over here with our links as well. So people who are just wandering in the general sustainability space would have the possibility to find us. So I kind of got that job half done, but not completely done. So I will keep plugging away at that.
Maybe Mohan or Alex can help us put it in the main calendar.
Well, in the past, when I went to them, they sent me to OCP, like has an IT support person who was super helpful getting us through a whole bunch of changes. So I'm just trying to go right to him.
Okay.
So we all know, since we're here, that we're not on that other platform. We're now on Zoom. And just FYI, all our meetings will now be recorded. And you should have gotten a message to tell you that when you joined. So we won't be announcing that any further. yeah, I guess. To move the recordings to other things.
One
All right.
more quick thing about this calendar thing if that
Yeah.
helps you. So I'm actually looking at, let me show you what I'm looking at.
Can you share?
Yes.
Yep,
So like this is our main page, right? And
exactly.
we have a calendar here at the bottom. This particular-
That's the calendar I'm trying to get us onto.
right, but this calendar only has the main meetings right now. I don't see the Monday morning meetings for DCM.
Oh, that's interesting. So I'll bring that up to the IT support person as well.
Yeah, because this is one thing that I also mentioned to them. I don't know if this is they have a limitation and that is why there is a separate calendar for everything. I've actually asked them that can all the sustainability general as well as the Workstream meetings, can they all be put on one calendar for folks to download?
Completely agree.
Agree.
So when you said that
So,
DCM is there, DCEM is there, I was wondering which calendar has that one, because I think right now all calendars are separate, which is inconvenient.
so if you go back to the place where you, yeah, and scroll down, oh, you don't have it. It says that it's broken. That's so funny. So for me, it shows a calendar there that has the
Oh, I see. It
umbrella
shows-
meeting and Sammy's meeting.
I see.
And then you showed me, Shruti, there's the whole other sustainability set of people in the OCP data center. And I've been going to a few of their meetings, which are pretty interesting.
DCF, you mean?
Yeah,
DCF?
yeah.
Yeah, they also have a sustainability subsection. So
Exactly.
the center facility is having its sustainability subsection, which is, it'll be good if we are aligned.
Or at least link to each other or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I did, introduce myself, say that, if they're interested in learning what our work group has been doing, then I would be happy to present there. And they said, okay.
Yeah.
I think they only meet once a month. They said, but we'll get you on the calendar.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Sammy.
No, Sammy, yes, but Robert is the person who is working with the sustainability under DCF. Is it Robert?
He is one of the people.
Okay.
But there's also you actually pointed me to this person, I think female, I think, from Google, right?
Yes.
She seems to be the person who's organizing the meeting, etc.
Yeah, she's the main DCF person, and I think Robert works on the sustainability work group inside DCF. So Robert has now started attending these calls, so that this particular work group and their work group is in sync. He's already attending these calls.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so we're slowly getting there.
Yes.
Slowly getting organized. All right, so let's go back. Let's share again. All righty. So I think we covered all the operational updates. So I think we all know each other. We can skip the intros. That's good. I thought the last few meetings we had with the go-to meeting, there were several new people. I hope we haven't lost them, but all right. So since we all know each other, I don't think we necessarily need to go over the why. I guess one update for you, Divya, is that while you were gone, we did decide to go ahead and work on the data grading, which I I was starting to put some thoughts down. I'm not sure we're going to get very far with them today. So, and then on the white paper, since we decided to add the grading, we're saying if we could complete it by the end of the year. The link is here. The link is also in that, on that sustainability wiki. You can find it that way. And I guess I should make sure that you can get to it through our work groups wiki.
So the data grade is for all the metadata or everything in the data in the
I think it's for both.
it's for both. Okay.
Yeah, so like if you know, there's no, say that you have 4 different dye from 2 different manufacturers in your package, and if you you know, don't even give a number or one of those dye, then the grade should say, you know,
Right.
that should be about, you know, like
That should
clear
be red.
missing
Yes,
data.
clear missing data. Yeah.
But if you do give a number, but you don't give any supporting information,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
that also should be a low grade, in my opinion, right? And then if the information is thorough, or if there's other ways that we decide we want to steer the, you know, like, you know, I think we're mostly going to get into a discussion around scope 2 and all the different ways people are doing scope 2. And do we want to remain agnostic to that, or only take market, or only take location, or,
Got
you
it.
know, all that complexity. That's going to be the hardest.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay. So
but
it's for
yeah,
both the main data as well as the metadata.
right. And it, you know, yeah. So we'll work our way through that. And then, so it's still open for review. Since our last meeting, I did do small edits on LCA and water as discussed in the previous meeting. The commenter had also brought up the digital passport. And when I went and looked at that link, it was to a company. So I don't think we should be touting any particular company. So I did not include that. But if we think that if there is information on digital passport that's, you know, not associated with a company, we can come back and revisit that. So I don't know if we want to take a quick look here, or everybody can just go look at it themselves. Either way, for water, Divya, just so you know, we stated how important it is and that we want to attack, you know, quote unquote, embodied water in the future. But for now, we're focused on carbon. So at least, because everybody feels, I think, that way, right? So at least we're acknowledging it as
Right.
just as it's an important feature or aspect for the data centers, it also is for the embodied piece. So I think that, you know, when we get to that could be kind of interesting to work on, actually. All right, so and then we had talked about trying to get test cases. I've only had very high level discussions with a few people at Intel. I would say there wasn't huge enthusiasm, but hopefully I can, you know, if we go a few generations back, I can find a willingness to share and a little bit of details about an older generation server. Has anybody made progress on DDR?
Outward DDR, right? I had actually just because, Kioxia was active in other sustainability stuff, I had asked them, but I think I've not gotten any certain reply yet.
All right, well, at least you tried. Any luck with Micron? I would say as an ask at the summit, if you meet anybody face to face,
Right.
doesn't
I
have
think
to
that's a
be.
great example. That's a good ask to put forward. And Deb, I'll talk to you. I want to talk to you about, about older generation servers as well, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that, and I can tell you who I've talked to so far,
Sure, sure.
what they said, and what what path I was encouraged to take. I'm sure you could make it up in your mind. It wasn't a shock, but okay. So if you meet any memory vendors face to face at the summit, please. Office. All right. So I'll be sure to highlight that in the minutes as well. All right, and I assume SSD has not made any progress since last time. And then I just added GPU in our AI processor today. And so we'll have, again, if you meet any memory vendors, or is NVIDIA a member of OCP?
They have definitely, yes, they are. They are
So
definitely.
if anybody,
Wise they are.
Sorry, go ahead. Deb.
No, I was just saying yes, membership list wise they are. I haven't.
so
Oh my
if
God.
you run into them at the summit,
Yeah.
see if you can network our way into finding somebody who would want to join this group, and maybe we could get them to reveal some information. Again, some older thing that feels a little less competitively risky, but would at least give examples for us to see if we're on the right track or not, etc. All right, so yay, so that's it. So what's left would be the grading. So I did start to put together some slides. So maybe we could start with a discussion. So these are just some thoughts or questions that came to mind, but this is just a first discussion, so everything's open. So do people have anything on these topics or others that they just, we want to discuss on sort of our high order, getting on the same page?
Yeah, I suppose if you think about storage or memory as a form of IC, then perhaps the same rubric that it could be applied for both compute, memory, or store. I mean,
All right, so I should match the white paper.
Yeah.
So
Just
in
like
the
the
white
spec is matched for any device, right?
Right. So any IC, including DDRs or
Right.
style that's on a daughter card,
Yep.
we should have covered. But then if we would have a different rubric for the hard drives, I mean, to me that makes sense. And then as we add, say, motherboard or what have you, we should probably give it its own rubric.
Yeah.
And we're thinking of
I will say this, I'm not opposed, but grading is really difficult. We tried it in security,
Mm,
Right.
Mm.
and we failed miserably. And this
Mm.
was an experiment we gave up on about 2 years ago.
So what
So
did
It's
you
just
so what approach did you take instead, Ari? If you don't mind
you,
sharing.
you know, we had a, this is probably a longer conversation, but we had a like gold, silver, bronze badges
Mm.
for products,
Mhm.
and of course nobody wanted to be a silver or a bronze,
Right.
and we ended up with no submissions. So the program, we put a lot of effort into it. We had you know, really detailed questions around secure boot attestation, other things, and it just fell flat. So I don't want us to repeat an effort where we put a lot of effort into something, and it doesn't bear fruit, because nobody,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, nobody will submit unless they get the highest grade.
Sorry, you think carbon?
Interesting.
Carbon?
And go ahead, Shruti.
No, I was just understanding in the instance that you're mentioning, Ari, were you trying to grade the carbon report or
No,
No,
it's
we were
security report.
it was security, so it was based on things like secure boot, attestation, a whole there was a whole like list of things you could check off. We put a lot of time and effort into it,
okay?
and it fell flat.
That would be a little bit different, right? Because there a lower grade actually means less secure. But here a lower grade means less complete, not necessary. It doesn't mean bad for carbon necessarily. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not a perfect analogy. I just wanted to share that experience.
Right.
No, I think that's important for us to consider. And if people would be more reluctant to, I mean, we're asking them all to open the kimono and show, quite a bit of information, but we're saying a lot of it is optional, right? So
Right.
if this would be there's already the reluctance to, just to be the first to share.
Yeah,
So,
and the other thing I ran into is, I was going to ask our auditor, if they would participate or share here. The company's called Enthesis, and both internally and from them, there is a lot of reluctance to share what they consider to be proprietary methods and data, which I don't like. I like transparency, but unfortunately, right now in the business of doing LCAs, for
yes.
storage, I imagine for other things, that these companies have to, they do get audited, so there is a process they go through to come up with the numbers that come through, but even I can't get access to that data. And
Yeah.
I've shared my frustration, but I understand it's not just us, it's kind of
Yeah.
industry wide.
Just wanted to share on that note, Ari, I think what I have seen, so one thing is, if it's voluntary, I can see why people would want the highest score, or otherwise nothing at all, right? So there is this whole Global Electronics Council, which has the EPEAT one, and if you go look
Yeah.
at EPEAT scores, and if you go look at that one and servers, there's hardly any servers that have the gold score. Like, it's like literally like everything is bronze, right, on the server space, right? Not the same thing for computers and laptops and stuff like that, but somehow, at least in the server, which is the data center equipment, there's very little appetite for this, right? And I don't know the historical cause. I don't know why this has been like this, right? Maybe it's just end user versus second level consumer level customers, and just the kind of use cases of servers and the customers we deal with. Why maybe that could be a reason, but I I think thanks for sharing that experience with the scoring, because it kind of makes sense. It falls in line with what I've seen in EPEAT as well.
But EP is regulatory, right? It's not optional.
It's regulatory,
right?
and yet there's hardly any servers that you'll see that are gold certified or even silver certified.
Yeah.
Gold or silver
Yeah.
means how complete is the information?
Even the information, I mean, information completeness is part of that score, Shruti.
Okay, yeah, then it is.
But it's more, right?
It's more.
also
There's many more
quality.
criterias. There's many more criterias for gold certification, which includes energy efficiency and a lot of different criterias, right?
Okay.
And they don't meet those.
Okay. So the way I'm thinking is, because when the grading number indicates how good they are,
Mhm.
then folks just want, the highest, or they don't want to submit at all because they don't want to look bad. But if I have a grading number and, like we said, folks are not very comfortable opening all information, maybe that gives them an option to start with
With
opening
something and make it improve, keep
Yeah.
increasing it.
right.
Yeah.
So open little information.
Yeah,
I
no, it's a psychology. I
number.
understand. Get it.
Yeah, and I'll say that I'm a lower grade, but my carbon number will be visible. It might show that I'm good, but I'm saying it's a lower grade. They might feel a little comfortable to start off, considering that they have this norm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can think about it, but Ari's comment really do make sense to me. I can
Right.
see why this could be a repeat as well.
The EP made sense to me, but where we are saying that there was a grading for the product, that is a different kind of grading, right? That's not about completeness. That is for the product security. I mean, there it is essentially that a higher grade means good security, lower grade means bad security. But our grading is not higher grade means good in carbon, lower grade in
Right.
carbon. It's not the same.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. So that's a reason why I'll just put here, if we could stay neutral on all the scope 2, I don't want to say wars, but disagreements.
Right.
I think that would help
That would
us.
be yeah.
So I'll put that down. All right. So what I thought I heard you say, Shruti, was leave room for any given for a product's grade to progress over time, right?
Yeah, I would
And then
think so.
also leave room for the grade methods to progress over time, right? So if we were to go with silver, gold, bronze, right? That's the wrong bronze, silver, gold, and then if we came up with, we want something higher, then you have to go to platinum, and then you go to, so I would prefer not a bronze, silver, gold personally, because I think it would be nice if it's a number, and that way the number can increase over years, right? We could always add more and the number would just get higher. Does that make sense? And is that something we want, or do people feel, oh, I really like the gold, silver, bronze idea?
I would
Yeah.
prefer the number idea, but it also
Yeah.
depends on who's taking the measurement. We do see, we have to go through a third party consultant, and that's quite costly. I'm not sure what is more industry standard for on the compute side.
I don't know what is industry standard. I mean, I can, Intel, we have our own expertise, and of course, there's always the option for us to have an external party verify it. But part of the vision for this whole white paper is for researchers to put their, work out there as well. And, it could definitely be the case, like today, you can go to certain places on the web and you would get a number, but no further information, right? So, that number could be included, but the grade would be very low. And then if some researcher is able to bump it up a little bit, then, it would show the value of their research as well as corporates disclosing. All right, we are out of time, but we can take this up next week, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, good topic.
All
Thank
right,
you,
I
Deb,
will
for
I will
leading it.
send the meetings. Oh, thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Good discussion.